Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Battle Brothers with me, Cornish-Knight. We've just taken out some orcs in a swamp. Some of our lads are a bit hurt, so they're just basically recovering health. Our tools are okay. We're just basically marching along this road. I'm considering if you want to go and take care of this. I know there were, said several berserkers, which is never a particularly nice thing. You find an abandoned wagon amongst some tall reeds. Cynical earth ticks it out and barks back. It's broken as shit, but we can salvage parts. You gain 10 tools and supplies. Excellent. Right. We have to keep an eye out for medical supplies because I'm really low on them. I might have to go down south. We're a bit behind on the armour again. We're going to have to basically keep an eye on that. We've got a whole load of McGubbins here that we need to sell, but we should be okay. We've got 6 days left on the contract. I need to get 10 more heads, so nothing too terrible. Let's run up here, sell off some of this stuff. They got no negative effects, which isn't too bad. Let's sell rid of these shields. Get rid of this Orcish gump. I do like Orcish gear, but it's like they say, it's not designed for human beings, and as such, it really does not. Sorry, got confused by the human meat that we basically were eating, which is probably not a fantastic thing. Medical supplies. We're going to have to get some decent or different food, otherwise the men aren't going to like it. No, nothing here that's really that interesting. I do like this game. I like this game a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing what the extra content is that they're suggesting that they're going to bring in. I know they're planning for it, which is really nice. Not going to get there in time. Right, let's try and find some people to slaughter. My money's that they're going to be over here somewhere in these wastes. We've got 6 days left and we need to get 10 more heads. Anything in the market? Some tools, but what I really need is cheap medical supplies. The reason I'm doing this is that you eat this grain first, so it's always the most reasonable thing to do. Get rid of that. Get rid of some of these. I suppose when I'm at it, just clearing out my inventory of rubbish. Let's see, anybody worth here? No, deserters are nice, but another deserter. Lots of deserters. Savage man. Or wild man, technically. Could get another person. I do have the McGubbins for it. Any rumours? Heard of the Black Hound camp. People say it's haunted. The dead walk on all somewhere west of here. Well, it's probably going to be off on this island somewhere. Let's see if we can just find it. Ooh, bandit camp. Many brigand raiders, some brigand marksmen. Well, there's something that we can investigate. I don't fancy doing that right now. Food is okay for a bit. Just trying to find some actual people to kill, that's the pain. Got 6 days. Or 5 days now, technically. Right, my general strategy for this is this. We've got 20 days until the crisis kicks off. So what we need to do in that time is that we need to get some more gear. We need to basically stock up on stuff which is designed to kill armour, because that's what we're going to be facing a lot of is that we're going to be facing... that's not so bad. Grab some grain, grab some healing herb. We'll grab this wood because we can sell it for a good price back north. Something that we want to sell. I've got to get rid of these because I don't really use throwing weapons. I know that people say, oh, you really should, but I never got around doing it. Right. We need to find something to kill. There's normally something camped out in this direction somewhere. Or at least some monster in the woods. There normally is, at any rate. And this is when we can't find anything to butcher, which is a pain. Well, there's a battle here, so there's obviously been something. 5 days, our money's getting a bit low. Why can you never find anybody when you need them to? We're running out of people, actually, running out of days. We might just have to turn the job in, which would be frustrating for us. We could attack a caravan to take heads. We're not close enough to the end day event to basically justify that. That's a lot of enemies. I'm a bit disappointed, actually. I was hoping there were going to be more creatures roaming about, but apparently there is not. There we go. Let's go get them. No, these guys are mine. Oh, curses. This fight is pretty much over. Yeah. I'm pretty much guaranteed that we won't get there in time. Which is a pain because I wanted the heads. I do really think you should be allowed to collect the heads after battles like this, even if you don't manage to kill them. Because at the moment, the only thing that you're getting... See, yeah, like these guys are here. You can tell this is basically what we're going to be facing in like the Civil Wars. And trust me, we're going to have to be like on top game. They have heated shields, these guys got tower shields, this is serious stuff. So we need to be getting some decent gear. No, we're pretty much, we've struck out on this, unfortunately. We're probably just going to have to turn in the contract. I'm trying to grab high terrain, high land mass, because you can see further if you go on higher ground, which is a tactic I suggest that you do in these situations. There are items like the falcon, which is similar to the war dog. If you have a falcon, you can let it fly, and it will fly around areas of the map and like highlight it, so you can see what's going on, which is very nice. Probably the bandits should be falling back by this point. If they're not shooting, it probably means the bandits are fleeing. Yeah. It's a shame. We could have probably have gotten our head quota out of this, which is a bit of a frustrating thing. At least we can try and... Yeah, they're all the way up there. We're not going to be able to reach in time. I'm just going to just hurry on the thing, hurry on the schedule. That's a shame. I was hoping for a nice early battle for the episode. Yeah, they're up here somewhere. Oh, are they? I can't tell. Yeah, they're up here. Obviously they're trying to flank around. Let's just pass our turns. Because these are like big battles and they take a long time. So I have two options. We can either do hasten enemy movement, which is not as useful. The problem I find with hasten enemy movement is that you can lose track of where all the enemy people are, where all the enemy enemy pieces are on the board. So I tend to like the slow movement because you can keep track of things a lot easier. But literally we will be having situations where you've got to have like 50 versus 50. One of them's dead. This is a shame, I was hoping. Yeah, we didn't get any heads. Got a little bit of loot. No heads. That's a shame. There's a bandit, a few piggins, a few brigand poachers. Actually, we could probably do that if we wanted to. Poachers aren't too bad. A few. There's going to be like 4 of them, which isn't so bad. And we have relatively good gear. Yeah, let's try it. I mean, all our guys are fighting fit. If we wanted to, we could put another archer in. I might do that actually. And we have relatively competent people. I mean, he needs to get a bit of experience, so let's put him in. So yeah, let's go for it. Have these guys hold the flank. Get the headquarter. Engage. There's only 6 of them? Okay. That's disappointing. I thought there were going to be more. Alright. Well, this is relatively simple. This is the tactic we're going to do. We're going to use this terrain here to hold this flank, to hold our right flank. And we're going to push, and then we'll release the dogs and just kill them all. Let's go. Get him up on high ground. Put an arrow through his shoulder and he sort of screams. Kill him. Straight out. Pikeman will move up to support. Bowman will move up to support. We'll let out to firing. Let's put an arrow into him. We missed. We're going to pull through here and hold this position. You're in a relatively good place. That glaive wielder has to go. They're covering the archer. He's going to start throwing javelins. Nothing too horrendous. So let's see where he starts throwing them. Ouch, bit of damage. He's going to let off a shot, probably a quick shot. Yeah. We will retaliate. He's a pain. I was hoping for a hit. Ooh, we ripped his ear clean off, and the man sort of screams and staggers back. Right. We can get up to there, but we can't do anything. Oh, it's going to be a pain. So what we do is we jump, shield wall this turn. Aim shot. Probably into him because he's going to be a pain. Not as much damage as I'd hoped. Alright, we need to basically... this is going to be a pain because by the moment we go here it's going to trigger him to basically charge. So we're going to put that there. Actually, they're not charging. That's worrisome. Oh well. Do we want to release the dog? No. We'll send the Dane Axeman around the flank, and then we'll release the dog into the back of them. Pikemen can move up to cover this group here. Swordsman can move up here and shield wall. Right. We're going to move to engage, so I want to have him going around the flank. Reload. Ooh, we put a crossbow into that man's side and he sort of screams. Reload. Accidentally kill him because he got in the way. He's got to try and pull back. Right, let's get this done. Get up here. Missed. Jump here. Smack him for a bit. I wish we'll probably need to start doing stuff like dagger work to try and get armor and shields. Right, his morale is broken, so we've got to jump into here and tie him up. He can go here. I'm not a big fan of jumping him into this, but I need to basically rip him open. He can go here and support. He can go here and support. We're going to unleash the dog. The dog's going to charge straight up here and go for the archer. Oh, I'd hoped that's what he was going to do. We missed. Kill him outright. They're now, because these guys' morales are wavering and breaking, they're all on massive penalties to hit. So we can just take full advantage of them. He's got to switch to the weapon, and he killed the dog, which is a pain. War dogs are relatively, by this point in the game, they're only really used for tying up people. Right, he's broken. Stun him. Right, they're all broken now, so we can literally just wail on them. Run them all down. We should probably start thinking about having to use daggers and stuff to get slightly better gear. At the moment I'm okay with stuff, so I'm not... We're slightly starting to fall behind on good quality equipment. But there's nothing we can really do. So let's just decapitate the last bandit. We lost the dog, which was a pain. We've got a little bit of this stuff that we can sell. We're a bit short on our quota, unfortunately, but we can take back what we got from the bandit battle. Did anyone level up? Nope. At least they're not affected by losing the dogs. That would be... If they started implementing morale penalties for losing like animals, it would be really bad animal companions. You have there's a party going on at Baron Guthers von Krieger's abode. You wade through the crowd of drunken opulence to get to the man. He shouts over the music and noise, asking how many you cut down on your patrol. It's odd, but shouting that you killed 21 seems to have no effect on the partygoers. Shrugging, Baron Gotthard von Krieger turns and leaves, slipping into the crowd of attendees. You try to chase, but a man cuts you off, slamming a satchel into your chest. Your payment mercy now, please see to the door. People are beginning to notice you and did not come here to feel uncomfortable. Stupid party going. Right, let's sell some junk. See, we can get a good price for that. So we made a bit of money. Grab another war dog, because those are always useful. I know there's a place down south that does them for cheap, but we'll do that. We'll re-centralise our supplies. Because this stuff is going to go bad really quickly. What's this contract? No, I'm not going to throw my life away for greenskins. They've got some nice gear here. Tools we're not so bad off for at the moment. Another heavy crossbow. Chainmail shirt, that would be nice actually. I need to start getting some actual decent gear on people. So, yeah, let's grab that. Who should we give that to? That's 110. Probably him, because he can probably eat the stamina. So now all we have to do is Fiasco. We need to get some decent gear for Fiasco. Right. Now the situation that we have is really simple, because personally because the way our relations are looking at the moment, it's probably best for us to ally with House Enstein, because these guys, though we're not like in bad relations with them, these guys are basically just nut jobs. I'm paranoid. These guys are relatively staunch. So let's see if we can get some work. Plus the fact is most of our upstanding relations are with factions in this area compared to them. We'll stop buying Gufholm. The problem that we have is that most of the tools are being cheaply produced here. So when war breaks out, we're going to end up paying quite a lot for tools and supplies. Let's look at gear. Not really. It's not bad. They got some helmets. See, this is the Falcon here. Falcon. Because I want to start switching my guy. Because I really don't want him to be wearing lamellar armor anymore for the frontline people, especially for not people like Fiasco. Okay, we need to sell some stuff then. Sell some of these spears. Sell that. Sell some of the light armors. That should cover us to buy one of these. It's 50 gold more expensive, which hurts. But if we went to an armor smith, it would be really expensive. So he's now got that on. So we've got one bloke, we've got a couple more people with Lamelin. So we probably want to buy weapons or equipment. To be honest, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that my entire party, besides obviously my crossbowmen, have, because at the moment I need to basically make sure that they have a decent enough arm to survive going up against actual other mercenaries. Because when the Civil War kicks off, we're going to be slugging it out with actual mercenaries, not bandits or orcs, actual professional soldiers. And as you can imagine, that's really, really bad. We've got to camp here, pop our heads into town, see if they have any work. Whoa, we're really bad on... Oh, that's why. Most of it's going to go off. That grain is expensive. We need to get a little bit in, just to hold us over for a couple of days. They have no work. Right. Do they have any... The only downside of being with this faction is that they have really no large settlements. They've got a small fishing village, another village, another village, another village. They're not actually a particularly large faction, which is worrisome because when it comes to actual besieging, these guys have got loads of castles. These guys down here have got loads of castles. I think they got castles. They've got a city and a small keep. Yeah, Motte Bailey, early Motte Bailey. A large village, massive citadel. These guys are going to be the this particular faction here, the House of Elderlich, are going to be the ones that are probably going to win the civil war, because they've got a number of castles. So if we go to war against them, we may just have to switch, because I am not fighting those guys. I'm not an idiot. Prisons for 5 days. Do they have any work? Level 3 faction contracts. A pack of dogs streams down the road. A few children in chase. They scatter past you one by one, the dogs howling and huffling with joy. The children scream out greetings. A woman walks up, a metal skillet in one hand and a wash rag in the other. Hey Vessel, so they said probably let one of their messengers men find and tell you this, but I've got news, so I'll tell you anyway. Reinhard the councilman's looking for you. She flutters her eyes, you smile back and nod. Vladimir the follower smirks. See something you like, sir? You tell the man to go fark a goat. It's interesting to see how settlements were actually, how the reactions the settlements have changed towards you, because we're allied. The local population actually likes us rather a lot. If we go somewhere where we're not known, the population will keep the hell away from us. Reinhold the councilman restlessly walks back and forth while explaining what troubles him. There's been an audacious act of thievery. A despicable brigand stole my crystals. Really, dude? Who has a crystal skull? I know what it's in reference of, but still, who has a crystal skull? It's like, oh look, I've got a book of necromancy on my table and they've nicked it. Oh no, I'm not up to anything sinister, which is immeasurable value to me. I implore you to hunt down the thieves and return this item to me. What I will say is that you have to be super careful of this, because what can happen is that you can go, oh, by the way, we believe that it was necromancers are basically behind it. Can you go and kill the necromancers for us? Or it can get really bad. You can get some really nasty contracts spawning from this particular contract. You get branching contracts. It's uncommon, but they do happen. He lowers his voice to an insisting tone. Not only will you get paid handsomely, but you'd also set the worried minds of the good people of Ernsdorf at rest. Why? Because they found out that you had a crystal skull and were basically doing God knows what with it in your basement. Let's talk pay. We need to be paid more. Oh, he's got to do that, right. Accept the contract. Right. They're going off to the northeast, so I'm betting that this is the group. They're probably going to head into the marsh. From my experience, the AI, when you're doing the hunting jobs, these tracking down villains and whatever, the AI will do one of two things, which will either be when they see you, they will flee into the most heavily defended area that they can. So what we're looking like, many brigand raiders. Okay, they got to go into the marsh. I don't mind them going to the marsh. We're going to hold it there. This is where we're going to end for this episode. So next episode we'll kick off with us basically hunting down and killing these thieves. And our goals, we're on day 86. What we need is that we need everyone to be dressed in actually decent gear. No more patched male shirts. It has to be actual decent male shirts at the very least. This stuff here isn't too bad, worn male shirt, but we need to basically get ready. The Civil War is going to be coming soon. We're on day 86, we've got 14 days before the Civil War kicks off. How's our factions relations looking? We're all relatively neutral. It's relatively hard to get improved. As you can see, we've done a couple of jobs for this house and it hasn't really improved that much. To be honest, I'm really tempted to basically go House Elderlich because they're the largest and probably the ones that are going to win, but they're also a religious cult. So basically this is the issue that we have. These guys are basically a religious cult. The family that runs them is a religious cult. Though they do have the biggest faction, and it also has the most large settlements, so they're going to be kicking out the most mercenaries and the best equipment. to a certain extent. These guys up here are all basically paranoid lunatics, but they have the best production centre. They have some of the best production centres in the world at the moment, and they have some of the best defensible locations. This faction is the one I've got the best, the best standing with, like the local faction relations, like relations of the Axe settlements really like me. The downside is they've literally got one castle. It's literally their stronghold. It's the citadel is literally, this is like their capital. It's right next door to the enemy's capital here. If they go to war, and they probably will. Plus the fact is they're really stretched out, not as much as these guys, but they've got one castle down here. It's not even a castle, it's a small fishing village. I thought it was a castle. No, they've got basically a very stretched out, very isolated. Which do you guys think I should basically back? Which faction do you think I should back come the Civil War? Den of the Undead. So probably go and check that out. Because at the moment I'm leaning towards these guys, just because they probably have the best setup to win. But they are religious fanatics, and they're not. If you read the back history of them, they're pretty. House Eldritch revolves around the religious cult that teaches compassion towards their own, but turns them zealous and unforgiving towards their foes. Generations ago, a large orc invasion pillaged and destroyed most of what belonged to the family, and never fully recovered. Since then, the house started many a crusade and punitive expedition deep into all clans, but never managed to drive the greenskins off for good. So these guys are basically very devout, religious Puritans, so it could get very interesting come the Civil War. But let me know. I've been Cornish-Knight. If you have liked, please press the like button. If you wish to subscribe, please press the subscription button. You can look me up on Twitter or look me up on Steam. I shall see you all next time. If you wish for a character to be named in the comment section, leave it in the comment section. Goodbye.